What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Danmachi Memoria Freese video. My name is DFree, and in this video, we're going to go ahead and talk about healers in the game. I wanted to give you guys my top healers. I don't really think they're in a particular order, but feel free to put them in that order if you would like to. But anyways, I wanted to talk about this because I thought it was an interesting topic. I don't think healers, get a lot of love in the game in particular. I think they're some of the better characters, especially if they can do multiple things. Now, this isn't me like doing a tier list or you should use this, don't ever touch this, or things like that. Feel free to use whatever works best for you and your setup and your account and your box, etc., etc. So when it comes down to it, my thought process really quick was, which characters can I pick for this list that are most viable in the most game modes or most relevant in general? Because there were so many elements, like which ones would be good in specific game modes, like ones that might be good in Rampage, for example, may not be as good in something like War Game, which is faster paced, etc. And also the characters that can do multiple things. Do you want just a general healer, or do you want a healer that can also output magical damage or also buff you or debuff the opponent, things of that nature? And again, I tried to give you the opportunity, or try to give these characters for better lack of phrasing there. Try to give the characters the benefit of the doubt and try to put them in a position where I felt like they would be good at. So, just simply being honest here, the honorable mention for this, just to begin, is a mid here. Very, very general healer, does nothing else but heal pretty much, and she's got a great magical stat. She'll heal you by tons and tons and tons. Her special is really good in Rampage because of the MP heal as well, where, of course, Rampage is a mode where your MP goes down, etc., etc. You don't regenerate MP naturally. You have to kind of use units that have that type of ability, or like assists, like there's a Hestia assist, or things of that nature, right? She also heals. I think she'd be better if she traded off her third skill there that does the seal resist, which, by the way, it's only for herself. Like, at least make it for everybody, but only for herself. You know, they trade that off for like a magical attack. Perfect. So she's my honorable mention. So otherwise, one more honorable mention for this is a really good healer, but she's not available right now anyway. Not Lily, not that Lily anyway. Is Valentine's Day Lily. She's actually really, really good. If we bounce over here, her allies mid heal and ailment cure is freaking phenomenal. Also below that, she has an ability, which I don't really like it being separate. There are other healers that have this type of duo tandem of two abilities. But she has the ability to allow them to heal 20% more for 4 turns. So basically, if you use Warm Heart, then move into Lively Heart next turn, they basically heal more damage, or more HP, right? So it helps. She also can do an AoE fire attack, just very vanilla fire attack, no sort of boosts or debuffs or status inflictments or anything like that. And then on top of that, she has a magical attack as well. Like, when it comes to the healers, I would like for their special to be a magical attack, because that makes it better, like an actual like attack, not a heal, in my opinion. So she's an honorable mention though, because she's not available right now, at least on the global version, and she's also time limited. So I'm believing she's Valentine's Day or whatever. But anyways, moving on to my natural list, just at the bottom of my list, if we're being honest, is Riveria. Now, this actually applies to all the Riverias that could potentially heal you. I'm not going to go over them, but I really like this one in particular because she carried me, and I'm kind of biased towards this character and like the 3-star Lily, by the way, because they carried me through a lot of the early game when the game was new. But mid heal and endurance buff by 10%, very low amount, but it's respectable because what it does is it allows you to be just a little bit more tanky. And if you didn't notice, I'm going to put this out there as a general for basically everybody on this list, minus kind of save for the balance types. The balance types are a little bit better at it, but for the most part, the natural healers and mages or whatever, that's the role that they have, they're very squishy. They go down insanely easily. They don't have any endurance. Like, I mean, they go down really easy, especially if they don't have limit breaks. I mean, look at her endurance right now. Her defense is 99. We limit break her, all of a sudden she gets respectable, I guess. But yeah, without limit breaks, they get destroyed, and they basically get one shot. So that is kind of another thing too, but I don't want to factor that into it because I felt like that would be unfair too. So anyways, she also can output damage pretty well and debuff the opponent a little bit. Also has another ability that increases your physical resistance and slightly heals you. So she's got that type of viability there. You know, she tries to stave off the fact that she's basically squishy, and your allies might be squishy as well and go down pretty easily and have no defenses by allowing you to resist physical hits and get a little bit more endurance up. Now, debuffing endurance is kind of like, I don't know. That doesn't really, I guess it's cool, but it's kind of like, okay. Also, she's able to 1% HP regen and 1% MP, so those are like really low numbers, but I guess. I'm not really going to go over the general skills on the characters, but not bad. So moving on next, I want to talk about Asti. I like Asti a lot. She's really, really good. She's really new. She's going to be right around here somewhere. And, oh yeah, there she is, excuse me. We're going to come back to the assist characters as well afterwards, but she's a balanced type character. Again, already see the endurance is a lot better on her just outright, and it actually amounts to being higher overall because balanced stats, you know, she's able to be a little bit more tanky. So this character has a mid heal and a counter rate plus 30%, allowing your characters to hit back just a little bit more for a little bit more consistent damage. Also coupling that with Vanishing Shroud, she's able to allow them to tank very well, which is another element that Riveria tries to do with things like physical resistance and endurance debuffing, but she's able to reduce the damage that they receive right here with this unit, with this skill. She also has an AoE attack, which is definitely a bonus. It's a physical attack, but again, she's a balanced type unit, so it's not that big of a deal that she's using multiple stats for her skills. And then otherwise, she has another physical attack at the top, which we don't really care about, but I like it because it's an actual damaging attack. But I guess if the character has another damaging attack, it's not that bad. Really, worst case scenario is when they don't have any sort of damaging attack. Amid. Anyway. So moving on to another character. You know, I was talking about Lily earlier. There is a Lily that basically fills the same role in the game currently, and it is this Lily. She's just not as good as the Valentine's one, well, simply because this one doesn't heal as much. The other one, I believe, has mid heal. This one has low heal. But Ailment Cure is really, really good in a lot of different modes, like, you know, things like stuns and things of that nature, charm. She's really good at getting rid of that stuff, so that helps out tremendously. So I felt like she was obviously worth being on the list. So, you know, when it comes down to it, she's only able to heal you right there. Like everything else, all her skills, unless we're launching her special, they're all single target, so it's not really super great there. But I felt like, again, even with this being a low heal, if she's got high limit break, she's able to heal you quite a bit. You know, 1040 magical attack is really good. So she's able to heal you quite a bit, and I felt like she deserved a spot. She's also a healer character. So it's funny she's a healer character, but she also has the abilities as well. I like that a lot. I really do. I like the blend. I feel like they're better, in just my opinion. Anyways, if we move on, the next one I have is Photos. She's ways down here. Very last one. Now, Photos very, very similar to Amid in a lot of ways, actually. She, to me, is like one of those characters I think could be better, like a lot better. But I can't deny that she's a great healer. Like, I mean, look at all those double S's, by the way. I can't deny that she's a great healer. She's unfortunately not acquirable anymore. But if we take a look at this character here, her top ability is the one that really throws me off, because I don't mind it. I don't mind the debuffing, but like, come on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on. That's like so underwhelming for a special. Like, if I'm going to use the special charge on you, all you're going to do is debuff. Now, I'm not going to say it like, you know, that can't be used viably and another unit can't take advantage of the debuff to the opponent. But there are literally characters that have regular combat skills that basically do that, you know? So, I guess, you know, Kino actually does it, but 20%, you know, while also doing damage right there with Bolting Assault Shot. All enemies mid-physical attack with a strength and magic minus 20% for 4 turns, literally. So it's like, it's a waste of a slot, basically, in my opinion. Feel free to disagree. But unlike Amid, she also can do a damaging attack, so I like that a lot. I put a lot of value on the healers, again, that can do a little bit of damage too. Unfortunately, it's just a single target, but the good news is it's a physical attack, which is indexed to her magical stat. So it's pulling from the magical stat as opposed to the strength stat, which is great for her because she has a very high magical attack stat. Otherwise, her main 2 abilities are at the bottom. She's just like the Lily I looked at earlier that has right here, Voice of Poplar Street, allows her to allow the allies to heal just 20% more for 4 turns, and a mid heal and a guard rate plus 30%, allowing your allies to potentially take a lot less damage. So a little bit of viability defensively too, like a couple of the healers we looked at previously, like Asti and things of that nature. So I feel like she totally deserved to be on the list. So again, basically not in any particular order, but if it was in an order, this would be number 2 and then number 1 next. You guys probably were like, where are these characters at? I'm going to tell you right now, we're moving into Chigusa, and I think this Chigusa is a healer too, right? I mean, yeah, she is ultra heal and heal plus 50% main ability. That's actually pretty busted, but I really don't like the specials that heal, but it can come in clutch. It can come in clutch because I used this character early on in the game, and boy, did that special ability help me a lot. So she actually deserves to be an honorable mention now that I think about it. Forgive me if there's any characters that I might have not thought about, because when it came down to it, By the way, when I was mentioning a mid, that was a general thing. Like, healers like her. There's probably more of them like her that are just literally only healers that deserve a spot on the list. But again, they're honorable mention to me because they don't fit the mold that I went for on my list. Anyways, moving on to Chigusa. I love this character. I love this character. She was actually one of my first fully limit broken units. I love this character so much. I love her strength boost. I love her heal, even though it's not that great. But she is really, really viable. Again, being a balanced type allows her to tank relatively well. Very good magical attack stat. Actually has a better magical attack stat than a lot of the mages we've looked at so far. They're typically around mid 1,050 or so. This one's way above 1,100, so really good. So that helps out a lot. Ultra Thunder magical attack and a 30% charm, so she's able to do a thunder attack. She also has a single target physical attack. Her bottom skill is strength plus 35% for 4 allies, so units that do physical attacks, they love her. They love her so much, basically. Especially if they don't have their own ability like Belle does, where it's like, oh, I'm going to give myself Argonaut or whatever, things of that nature. Also, she just does a generic low heal, nothing else, but the heal is a lot. It's worth it. Hundreds of HP coming back every turn is amazingly worth it. So I decided to put her at the top of the list, again, because of viability. If I was just ranking sheer healer amount, she'd be like towards the bottom because, I mean, she has a low modifier. It's low, literally. And then there's high heals, there's ultra heals in here somewhere, you know, things of that nature. So ultimately, though, this character, he needs a lot of limit breaks, and notice I said he because you guys know who he is. He's always been busted. We're going to Fells. I'm thinking Fells is a guy. I don't know. Anyways, you know what? After this, let me go ahead and do it, just because I have to, because it's gonna drive me actually insane. OCD is gonna kick in, and it's gonna get really mad at me. Where are you at, Fells? Gender's gonna be unknown, huh? Yep, thought so. I thought so. Oh, oof. What's up, Loki? Back to the album. And we're gonna go back down to Fells. So maxed out. He's decent at defense, but still very squishy all the way through his life, basically. No matter what you do, he's gonna be squishy. So he really needs to be with buddies that can help him tank. Basically like Asti. That's like, yo, we're gonna reduce the damage you take. Anyways, high heal and removes all debuffs except for assist skills. That's actually very, very relevant. I think. I don't really mind that one being the special. I would prefer if it wasn't, but I don't mind it, especially because he has another damaging attack down there. So, you know, basically, it sounds like I'm just like, yo, biased, basically, and I wouldn't be inclined to disagree with that special being like a healer because of the fact that he has another skill down here. I don't mind it as much, especially that AOE attack too. I don't mind it as much because he still has the viability. And also, again, removing all debuffs is relevant because you have units like Kino, like I was just looking at, that can just hit all your units for a pretty nasty debuff. So I like it. I like it. I like it. And the way that they nerfed him is by making you wait for him to remove your debuffs. But it's also a high heal to all allies. Also a mid heal and ailment cure. Basically Lily. So everything I said about Lily prior, he's able to do it too. Literally the same thing. And he's also better at it than the non-honorable mention Lily. Bottom skill, physical resistance and ailment resistance plus 20% for 4 turns, excuse me. So they get more tanky, himself included. That's a great ability there. Physical resistance, up. Ailment resistance is up. Great. He's literally amazing. He's literally amazing. And otherwise, he has the ability to output thunder magical damage. But again, him, unlike the balance type units I mentioned, he really needs that defensive support. He just needs that tanky ally, things of that nature. So there's my list. Hope you all enjoy. Subscribe if you are new. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Do you guys agree? Do you not agree? Should there have been somebody I missed? There probably was. Should there have been somebody that was on the list that I missed? Anyways, have an awesome day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.